Welcome back to my channel, folks. Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, where I hope today you can join me on another trek to find the next plant in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series, a series designed as a beginner's guide to botany. In today's episode, we'll be looking for a little plant known as Tormentil Potentilla erecta, otherwise known as upright cinquefoil. The plant, whilst in the habitat ascribed, is a low-lying ground layer plant of grassland, and as such the flower may be ironically conspicuous by its absence if grassland is grazed, hence the importance of recognising the distinctive leaves. It is also found on mown grass and verges. Two other interesting aspects of the plant include the dependent mining bee Andrena torsata, which uses the pollen of Tormentil to feed its larvae. Likewise, we will expand on the common vernacular bloodroot in relation to the traditional dyeing of leather with the rich red dye derived from the plant's root. Of course, no wildflower video would be complete without the unscheduled and unidentified appearance of this strange and rare wildflower, which appeared as if by magic. Welcome to my channel, folks. Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube. Today we've come to do a habitat roundup in a small plant which we found today mid-May. The name of the plant is Tormentil or Potentilla erecta, the potentilla part meaning it is part of the genus containing the cinquefoils. And we have found a small colony here, here and here, which is exactly where we would expect to find it, the plant preferring acid grassland and heathland. To my right, immediately behind me, we have small remnant heath, and to my front here, where I'm pointing, we have a large extent of grassland on a hill slope overlooking the woodland stream below me. So the plant is right on cue. It is in heath stroke acid grassland. Tormentil is known by a number of common vernaculars, namely Tormentil reflecting its use traditionally in folklore for minor pain healing, such as wounds and the like, and it's also known as septfoil. The plant itself is a 4-petal flower, and it can be readily confused with other cinquefoils in the genus. However, this is where in botany attention to detail becomes important, because the other confusion species such as creeping cinquefoil and silverweed all have 5 petals. In the case of our friend here, which is Tormentil, it has 4 petals. So the plant, as you can see, is a creeping ground layer in grassland, preferring acid heath and acid grassland. So, to summarise the habitat of Tormentil, it is a plant of dry heathland with a preference for acid grassland, and it is flexible in its outlook, occupying grassy habitats, heaths and pathways, including mown verges. The plant is known by a number of common or vernacular names, none the least Tormentil, reflecting the plant's medicinal ability to relieve torments, wounds and other ailments. The term upright or erect cinquefoil distinguishes the plant's habit from its close cousins, creeping cinquefoil or trailing cinquefoil. The name shepherd's knot and yews daisy reflect the plant's association with grazing. We will return to the story of bloodroot in relation to the use of the plant's root in the dyeing of leather. The Latin couplet adequately reflects the properties of the plant, namely its potency as a medicinal herb and its ability to stand upright or erect as opposed to being procumbent. As always, before we embark on our trip to the field, we look at the features and characteristics which will enable us to identify and find it. We'll begin by taking a close look at the flowers of this plant. As always, we include a detailed botanical slide which may be stopped at any point for those of you who may wish to study the plant further. Tomentil is a member of the rose family, or the Rosaceae. It's a clump-forming perennial growing up to 10 to 15 centimetres in height. The petals of Tormentil are similar to the cinquefoils and silverweed, except it should be noted that Tormentil has 4 petals and not 5 petals. The flower is approximately 1 to 2 centimetres across. The plant has 4 sepals which are spear-shaped, surrounded by 4 bracts, and the 4 petals appear slightly notched at their end. It has 4 to 20 stamens and 1 stigma per ovary, with 4 to 8 ovaries, all of which are one-celled. The flowering period or phenology of Tormentil is from the end of May through to September. There is also a number of potential confusion species outside the scope of this beginner's video, and it is noteworthy to state that the plant can hybridise with similars in the genus. Let's take a detailed look at the small flowers of Tormentil in more detail. Let us also turn our attention to the leaves of the plant. The stalkless leaves are ternate with 3 leaflets and 2 leaf-like stipules at the leaf base. The basal leaf rosette at the bottom of the plant often withers before flowering, and the stems are erect or non-rooting trailing stems. As stated, the 2 leaflets at the base are stipules. The leaves are arranged alternate along the stem, and the leaflets are egg-shaped and deeply toothed or serrated. Returning to the common vernacular bloodroot, Tormentil has had a number of uses within medicinal herbalism, none the least promoted by the medieval doctrine of signatures. Those signatures being the 4-petal cruciform flower resembling the cross and the blood red colour of the root when freshly cut. The root also has been used as an ink, likely by the medieval scribes before the advent of printing, and in the tanning or dyeing of leather. The red dye is known as Tormentil red, and it contains phenolic compounds known as phlobucines, which are mildly bactericidal. Well, that's it from me, folks, as we bring the dulcet tones of this video to an end. Thank you very much again for watching, and I hope you can join me on the next track in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series. If you have enjoyed this video or found it interesting or educational, please like, share and subscribe to help this channel continue and become a success. Until the next in our wildflower series, whatever the weather may be, enjoy it.